Hi everyone, this is Dawn Olszewski and welcome to another episode of How'd She Do That? And I've been getting a lot of questions about this particular stamp set. It's called Wonderfall and it has a matching die called Autumn Accents. And it can be a little tricky at first to think about how you're going to stamp and cut that. But when I saw this card done by Jen Brum on Split Coast, I just fell in love with it and I'm going to share some tips on how to make it today. Alright, so let's get started. Many of the products that I'm using today are in the Stampin' Up! Holiday Mini Catalog for 2012. They are found on page 33, and they feature many of the products on that particular page. And one of them is the Wonderfall stamp set. Now, this was designed to match the Autumn Accents Bigz die. Now, typically, when we have kind of stamping and cutting, it's with a punch or the framelits, and you would have stamped first and then cut. But we're going to do the opposite. So what I've done is I have pre-cut a leaf out. This is very vanilla. And I need my stamp. This image is the oak leaf image, obviously to match my cutout. And this is, let's see, this is E. This is the size block that I'm putting this on. Now I'm going to get out my ink, which is Early Espresso. And we're going to give this a nice inking. Now the type of stamping that I refer to this is like background stamping. If you love Stampin' Up's background stamps, you might have stamped like this, where you ink first and you put your paper on top of it. So that's what I'm going to recommend for this. So here's some tips, is that you really want to be over your head, completely over the image so you can see what you're doing and that it comes out straight. So I'm going to do that real quick here. And I've also, see where this stem is? You can really see it nice and clear on the stamp. So that's one of my kind of like lining up points. Then I'm going to take my grid paper and I'm going to put it over and just give it a nice rubbing. Alright, and then once I feel like I've got all the edges and parts of the stamp kind of rubbed down, I'm going to pull it off. And that's what we get. Isn't that nice? I love the way that turns out. It turns out almost perfect every single time. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is just give some tips on our new Coordinations cardstock. It comes in 3 colors. This is the Gumball Green, the Early Espresso, and the Cherry Cobbler here. I'm going to use the Early Espresso today, but if you can see how they show in the picture that the inside core of this paper is a different color. So here I have Early Espresso with me today, and that's what we're going to use on our card. And I want to come in real close. Can you see how it's textured here? And then on the other side, it's very smooth. All right. Now, so this is the front, and I'm going to put it in a texture folder. This is the new Woodgrain folder. You'll be able to see it better once I get this in here. Now, another thing about the paper is that it seems to be a little bit lighter weight. And so it's when you put it through the texture folders, like here I have one already done, it becomes a little more fragile. And sometimes we'll even do just maybe a little tearing. This one came out pretty good. But that's okay, because when you go to put it on your card, I actually recommend that you put your adhesive on your base, not on here, because you're going to find that you're going to get more tearing with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I do use a lot of adhesive when I am doing the textures, adding the texture to it. So this is on a base of Crumb Cake. And it measures 4 1/4 by 11 and then folded in half. Alright, and then we're going to add, this wonderful champagne glimmer paper. This is measured 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. Just add this to the front of our card. Alright, next I'm ready to add some baker's twine. This is the Early Espresso, and I'm going to use 28 inches on that. That all ready to go here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave a little a little bit hanging off the card. Back out so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to leave some hanging off the card, but I'm going from underneath in the middle here, and I'm going to wrap it around twice. Okay. Then we have our tails that will come together here roughly in the middle. I'm going to use one of the new designer buttons. Love these. These are just beautiful. You can see that. And I'm going to thread this through, just kitty corner from each of those holes there. Do that real quick here. And then pull it tight. I don't care where it lands right now because I can always do my shifting afterwards. I'm just going to tie a quick knot just to get it. Okay, then I'll just do a bow here, just like I'm tying my shoe here. There we go. Now I'm going to shift the whole thing, so I'll just move the whole thing over. Okay, so that's about where I want it. We'll add the leaf, and I've added some dimensionals, 3 of them here. And what I'm going to do with this is that I'm going to add the leaf so kind of just the button lands in this area right here. Okay. And if I need my button to go over just a little bit more, I'm just going to do that. There we go. That is where I want it. And lastly, we'll add a greeting. This is thank you. It's from a stamp set called Made for You, and it comes with a few images. I like this. It's just 3, especially for you, happy birthday, and this thank you. I've stamped it in early espresso on Crumb Cake, and it's been punched out with the modern label punch. Added a couple of dimensionals. We'll just add this. Here we go. Here's a finished card. I love the way this turned out. It could be used for a thank you, Thanksgiving, a mail birthday card, or just a thinking of you. I hope you enjoyed that, and be sure to stop by my blog for more inspiration and lots of creative ideas.